Hello and a very warm welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I want to talk about whether it is still worth investing in the UK real estate market. Now, in the first part of the video I will discuss what I feel are worrying signs about what's been happening in the UK. The second part of the video will discuss what I think are good reasons to still invest in the UK real estate market, and then at the end I will give you a conclusion. So the first worrying sign I want to talk about is that recently the Tier 1 investor visa program has been scrapped. And this was a program whereby, depending on how much money you invested in the UK, you could apply for a permanent residency. Now, the minimum investment was £2 million, but you could get permanent residency in 5 years. But if you invested more, you could get this in a shorter space of time. For example, if you invested £10 million, for example, in UK government gilts or any other investment in the UK, with £10 million, you could have got permanent residency in 2 years or so. Now, I'm worried, firstly, because it means a lot of money that potentially could have come to the UK has been lost. And number two, what I don't like is that the reason they've done it is because they were worried about money laundering, in particular in the UK's capital, London, from these type of investors. But what they've actually done, they've actually put all of these investors into one bracket. Now, not everybody who wants to put money in the UK is money laundering or has made illicit gains. Potentially, they may believe in the country, but by doing something like this, they've put everybody who wants to invest large sums of money into the UK in one bracket, i.e. a money launderer or somebody who's got illicit gains. That's a worrying sign. The second bit I want to talk about is the government debt to GDP. Now, this has reached over 100%, and these are not levels we've seen in the UK since the 1960s. So, not in my lifetime, and I'm no youngster. The third point I want to discuss is the unspectacular growth. Now, in the years 2016 to 2019, in each of these years, the UK GDP growth was under 2%. And in 2020, the pandemic year, the UK GDP fell by a spectacular 9.9%. The fourth point I also think is quite important and worrying too is that since leaving the EU, the single market and the customs union, the UK has failed to strike a single new free trade deal of note with another country. And the Office for Budget Responsibility in the UK has estimated that Brexit will cost twice as much as the pandemic. Hardly endorsement of what's going on. But number five, I think this potentially is the most important for you as a foreign investor, or indeed it could be a UK investor looking to buy a second property, is the ever increasing taxes. Now, on the 1st of April 2021, an extra stamp duty of 2% was slapped on non-UK residents who want to buy a property. And buyers of property in England and Northern Ireland will note that if you are a non-resident and you want to buy a property now in the UK, it is extremely expensive, because this is really on top of other stamp duty increases that have happened in recent years, in particular the extra 3% if you wanted to buy an additional property. So if we take a property of £250,000 as a non-UK resident buying a property in the UK, you will pay now 6% stamp duty, i.e. £15,000. But the more you spend, the higher it is, the higher the percentage. So if you buy a property for £500,000, you'll have to pay 8% stamp duty, which is £40,000. Now, if you go at the very top, particular foreign investors who want to buy in the prime areas of London, you want to buy a £2 million property, you're going to pay a whopping 12.7% in effect stamp duty, and this is equivalent to £253,750. So you can see it's made the UK a little bit less of a nice place to invest. And also other taxes from the 1st of April 2023, corporation tax in the UK is increasing from 19% to 25%. Although if you make profits up to £50,000 only, you'll still pay 19%. But if you're a multinational looking to make high profits, you're now going to pay 25%. So not great. And this may encourage multinationals to set up in other countries like Ireland, for example, where corporation tax is a lot lower. National insurance taxes are also going up in the UK in April 2022, and in effect, tax levels in the UK are at their highest since World War II. Now, you may think that's bad, but this is with what is traditionally a business-friendly Conservative government. Now, if the Labour Party were to come in, it would be even worse. They would absolutely go after landlords, and they've said that already. So beware if you want to buy a property in the UK and rent it out, and the Labour Party come into power, watch out. And also, the last thing I want to talk about is inheritance tax as well, which is very high in the UK. So if you buy an expensive property in the UK, beware if you do pass away and want to give that property to your child, any value over £325,000 will be taxed at a whopping 40%. That said, I still think there are some good things about the UK. Not least, the UK is still pro-landlord, so it's not as pro-tenant as places like Italy, Spain, France. It's generally pro-landlord. And the population of the UK is increasing, which is good for the property market. So in 2022, it's 68.5 million. In 2035, it's expected to grow to 71.5 million. And by 2050, to 74 million. And also, what I think is important in the UK, house prices do make people feel richer in the UK. They play a very important part of people in the UK, how they feel about their wealth. So it's unlikely that the government will introduce further measures, hopefully, to the detriment of the property market. And there are also generous rental income tax deductions in the UK compared to many other countries. And also, I also want to say, finally, there are some cities in the UK, actually a fair number, where you can get some very good yields. So, for example, Nottingham, I did a video on Nottingham where in certain parts of Nottingham you can get gross rental yields of 10%. But you can also get high yields in Manchester, Liverpool, and one or two places which I'm yet to cover about the UK real estate market. So, conclusion, should you invest? My theory is this, and I'm talking about the perspective of a non-resident UK buyer. And from their point of view, I think it is still worth buying, perhaps in a place where you're not going to spend too much on a property, so you're not going to get hit by inheritance tax should you pass away and you want to give the property to your child. And I think in places, as I've said, like Nottingham, Manchester and Liverpool, where you don't pay an arm and a leg for a property, you can still get some very, very good yields. And I think there is also a wave of arguments about putting more money in the north of the UK, i.e. levelling up. So a lot more money, I think, is going to be redirected to the north of England. So potentially it may be better to buy in the north of England, as I said, in places like Manchester, Liverpool, Nottingham, and not so much in London, which I think a lot of politicians have been attacking, wrongly I feel, but they've been attacking that too much of the wealth has been going to London. Anyway, that's it for today. I would absolutely love to know your thoughts about the UK. Do you still think it's a place worth putting your money in the real estate market, or do you think the best days are gone and it's a market to avoid? Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon on the next video.